Good day, everyone. How's your day today? I hope you're all fine. Today, we were diving into the core of how we communicate by looking at an overview of macro skills. Whenever we interact, guys, through language, we are constantly navigating a balance between taking in information and putting it out there. So in this session today, we'll explore the fundamental dichotomy between receptive skills, how we receive language through listening and reading, and productive skills, how we produce language through speaking and writing. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. We have here receptive versus expressive. Okay. Okay. Let me read. Receptive skills, input. The core concept here would be absorbing, decoding, constructing meaning from internal language sources. Focuses on processing incoming communication without generating new verbal or written contracts. Includes here listening, reading, and viewing. For expressive skills, that's the output. The core concept here would be formulating, encoding, and producing original messages to convey ideas. It requires active generation of vocabulary, syntax, and communicative gesture to an audience. Includes here, of course, would be the speaking skill, writing skills, and representing. So in this slide, guys, let's break it down. Let us break it down the two fundamental categories of language communication. No, the other one would be receptive skills, input, and the other one would be the expressive skills, the output. So let me explain the slide further. What do we mean when we say receptive skills here? Receptive skills, guys, are about taking in and understanding language created by others. So you act as the receiver or listener. That's why we have their examples would be under core concept. You look at the slide, absorbing, decoding, and making sense of external information. It focuses purely on processing, as included there in the slide, incoming communication without having to create original speech or text yourself. Okay. Take note here, guys, listening. It includes these skills: listening, reading, viewing. So when we speak of listening, here you have to, of course, listening is hearing and comprehending spoken words. Reading would be interpreting written text. And for viewing, guys, we have to, of course, analyzing. It's about analyzing and understanding visual information such as diagrams, videos, or images. The other one would be the expressive skills, the output. What does it mean? Expressive, guys, also called productive skills. Productive skills are about creating and communicating your own ideas to others. How do you communicate your ideas to others? You act as the speaker or author. Okay? That's why we have their core concept: formulating, encoding, producing original messages to convey ideas. This requires, guys, active effort to select vocabulary, contract, construct proper sentences, syntax, and use effective delivery methods to reach an audience. Okay? So here it includes speaking, verbally expressing thoughts and ideas, and then writing, constructing written text to share information, and representing, meaning communicating visually, guys, through presentation, of course, like drawings, gesture, or media creation. Okay? So in summary, guys, we're going to summarize these receptive and expressive skills. Take note, guys, that think of language as two-way street. Okay? It's a two-way traffic, receptive and expressive. So receptive, take note, is how information gets into your brain, listening, reading, and viewing. Expressing would be the output. It's how information comes out of your brain to others, speaking, writing, and representing. Okay, so let's have the other slides now. Okay, here we have receptive skills deep dive. Definition: the cognitive capacity. What is receptive skills? The cognitive capacity to comprehend auditory, written, or visual symbols and infer contextual meaning. Learners here typically develop a broader receptive vocabulary prior to active expression. Strong receptive abilities build background knowledge, grammar, intuition, and contextual awareness. Cognitive role acts as the primary mechanism from knowledge intake and language modeling. So let's go back to the definition. Here we have here, it was defined. So receptive skill is not just hearing or looking. It's a brain process, guys. Your mind, your mind receives signals, spoken sounds, written words, or it could also be images, and decodes them to understand the actual meaning behind them based on context. Okay. For the passive vocabulary base, guys. Okay. Look at that one. Let's discuss it further. Your passive vocabulary consists of words you recognize and understand when you hear or read them. Even if you don't feel, for example, confident enough to use them when speaking or writing, naturally, everyone's receptive vocabulary is larger than their active expressive vocabulary. Okay? Then we have the foundation for growth. Okay. Now, let us explain it further. The more you listen, guys, read, and view, the better, of course, you get at language as a whole. And then doing so naturally absorbs grammar structures, context clues, and general knowledge without having to memorize rules endlessly. Okay? Then the last one would be the cognitive role. So here, receptive skills are the gateway to listening. I mean, gateway for learning, no? Learning to listen, okay? Learning, okay? They show your brain native speakers or proficient users structure ideas, helping you build a mental model of the language, cognitive. So receptive skills are the gateway to learning. Okay? Take note of this. And then we have to understand that receptive skills are the sponge phase of communication. You take in, process, and absorb language so that you can eventually express your own ideas effectively later on. Okay? So you have to take in, of course, no? So that you could also give your feedback from the things that you have took in your brain, no? So that's it. So next, let's have it. What have you learned, no? What have you learned from this one? Okay? Uh, Next, let us have receptive skill set. Here we have their listening. Listening, the function here would be processing auditory cues, tone, pitch, and spoken vocabulary to instruct meaning from spoken context. Okay, take note, guys, that listening goes beyond simply hearing sounds. It requires the brain to analyze auditory signals, including vocal inflection, pitch, variation, and spoken words. In real time, guys, to derive intent, emotion, and implicit meaning within a given context. Next is what we have there. We have their reading. Okay, if you try to look at it, we have their decoding, written symbols, recognizing text, syntax, and analyzing literary or technical structure. So take note, guys, that reading reading involves conversion, no? Converting static printed or digital symbols, letters, and words into meaningful language. It relies on the learner's ability to recognize sentence structure, which is syntax, understand vocabulary, and navigate how information is organized, whether in a story, an academic article, or technical manual. And then we have here viewing. Okay, we have there interpreting visual media, symbols, chart, diagrams, and nonverbal content. So let us explain this further. In modern language, guys, frameworks, viewing is recognized as an essential receptive macro skill. It involves comprehending and evaluating visual representations such as infographics, illustrations, video, media body language, and graphic organizers to construct meaning alongside or independent of text. Okay? That's why children can easily understand and things, okay, if there is that visual representation. Okay? So that's why we have included diagrams, okay? Here, diagrams and illustration, infographics also. So these three skills, guys, make up the input mechanism of communication. What are these again? Listening, reading, and viewing. Okay? So mastering them, of course, allows you, learners, to effectively absorb, interpret, and process diverse forms of information. Okay? Before translating that understanding into expressive skills. What are those? Speaking, writing, and representing. Okay? So take note of that. Let's go to the other slide. Okay? Let's go to this one. Expressive skills deep dive. Okay? So this one often referred to as to us as productive language skills. Speaking, writing, and visual presentation. Okay? So unlike receptive skills, guys, reading and listening, expressive skills require the learner to actively generate and output language to communicate ideas. So let's have the definition. We have there the productive usage of words, symbols, and graphics to convey thoughts, feelings, and needs. How do you understand this? Okay, let us explain this further. Expressive communication, guys, goes behind, I mean, behind, yeah. It goes beyond just spoken or written text. It encompasses a way, it encompasses any medium used to output information, such as vocabulary choices, symbols. Okay? What are those symbols? Punctuation, emojis, no? Shorthands also, and visual representations like charts, diagrams, and slides. Okay. Now, let's have active retrieval. So here demands cognitive effort to synthesize grammatical rules, vocabulary, and sound structure. Okay, what is your understanding to this? Okay, let us discuss. Here, expressive language is cognitively demanding because the speaker or writer cannot simply recognize language. They must retrieve vocabulary from memory, apply syntax, grammar, and organize concepts, guys, systematically in real time or composition. Okay. Next, we have their social communication, critical for real-time interaction, persuasive discourse, and academic expression. So let's discuss. Expressive skills, guys, drive functional communication across different contexts. What are those? We have interpersonal, okay, conversational, fluency, and social interaction, interpersonal. Persuasive in structuring, argument, debate, and rhetoric. And then we have here academic and professional structuring, essays, research papers, legal briefs, and instructional presentations. Then down below, we have their feedback, dependent, defined through social response, peer review, and self-correction. Okay, let's discuss this. Expressive capability, guys, improve through output and feedback loops. So learners here define you as learners, define their mastery when you gauge audience reactions, receive formal feedback such as peer review or peer evaluation or rubric grading, or engage in metacognitive self-editing. Okay, so that's it. Now, let's have the next slide. Expressive skill set. Okay, so here in expressive skill set slide, we outline three primary modalities that make up the expressive skill setup. What are these? We have speaking, writing, and representing. So let's discuss speaking, the oral, okay, oral expressive skill, speaking. So here we have their verbal articulation, pronunciation, real-time, oral discourse, tailored for social or formal setting. Okay, let us explain this further. So this component, guys, focuses on oral communication. Okay. Of course, it involves something. What are those? It involves phonology and articulation. Okay, clear pronunciation, proper stress, intonation. And then we have to take note of the fluency in discourse, formatting ideas on the fly for spontaneous conversation, public speaking, debates, or academic presentations. And then pragmatics, adjusting tone, register, and vocabulary depending on whether the context is casual or social or structured formal. Okay? And then we have the writing, structuring written composition, applying orthography, syntax, or organizing cohesive paragraphs. Okay? Here, this focuses on written communication. So, what does it require? It requires, of course, correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. And then for syntax and grammar, sentence, of course, construction and grammatical correctness. And then for cohesion and structure, logical flow, paragraph, development, and thematic continuity. Okay, where can we find this? In essays, legal briefs, reports, or stories. For representing, guys, this would be visual, multimodal expressive skill. Okay, we have there communicating visually through digital slide decks, diagrams, and multimodal media. So this modern expansion, guys, of language art focuses on visual output. Okay, what does it involve? It involves, of course, using graphics, charts, okay, and diagrams to convey complex ideas efficiently. And then combining text, okay, for multimodal communication, combining text, imagery, color, and layout to guide audiences' understanding. For example, creating presentation, infographics, or digital media projects, no, under multimodal communication. And then, okay, that's for representing. Okay. Next, let's move to another slide. Detailed skills comparison. Okay. So here, guys, detailed skills comparison between receptive skills input and expressive output across four major pedagogical dimensions. Okay? So it ties together the previous concepts by contrasting, I mean, how information is processed versus how it is generated. Okay? So we have there primary direction. Okay? So take note, guys, primary direction, we have there outside. Okay? Outside and then inside decoding. Okay? Outside, inside decoding. So what do we mean here? Information moves from external, because it's outside, external sources into the mind. The learner, you as learner, absorb external language and decodes, no? Decodes it to extract meaning. Okay? And then we have therefore expressive inside, and outside the encoding. This time encoding. So let us explain this. This time, information, guys, moves from internal thoughts to the audience. Okay? Inside from you and goes to outside. So information moves from inside thoughts, out to the audience. The learner encodes internal thoughts into structured language, text, or visual media. Okay? So take note of this. For modalities, core modalities, what are those? Listening, reading, and viewing. These modalities, guys, involve receiving sensory input. Sample, auditory, textual, or visual from others. And then for expressive skills output, we have speaking, writing, and representing. These modalities involve producing context, oral, textual, or visual, multimodal for others. Okay? And then for cognitive function, guys, look at the diagram, look at the presentation. For receptive skills, recognition, inferencing, interpretation. Okay. The mental focus is on recognizing vocabulary, drawing conclusion, that's inferencing, and understanding intended meaning, that's interpretation. Okay? So next, expressive skills output, that's generation, formulation, articulation. The mental focus shifts to generating ideas, formulating syntax, structure, and articulating or visualizing final message clearly here in expressive skills. And then the last dimension would be vocabulary type. Okay, under receptive skills, we have input, passive recognize, in context, refers to words that a learner understand when heard or read, even if they don't regularly use them in conversation or drawing. For expressing or conversation, I mean, or writing. Okay, I'll repeat that one. Even they don't regularly use them in conversation, not only in conversation, but could also be on or writing. No? And then expressive skills, active, spontaneously produce, refers to words that a learner can retrieve or spontaneously produce in a real-time speech, writing, or visual representations. Okay? So these are the comparative matrix overview, okay, that I could provide you for this topic. Okay? And then let's have language skill continuum. Okay? Showing the natural sequential progression of how individuals acquire and master primary language arts skills, moving from foundational receptive skills input to complex expressive output. Okay, so look at the stages. For stage one, listening, auditory exposure, and phoneme recognition by recognition lay the foundation. Okay? So this is the primary entry point of language acquisition. Before producing language, a learner needs consistent auditory input to distinguish sounds, recognize phonemes, and begin associating auditory patterns with meaning. So that's listening. And then for stage two, speaking, okay, early oral expression emerges from receptive sound modeling. So here, building directly on stage one, oral expression develops as learners imitate, model, and practice the sound structures they have internalized through listening. It marks the shift into expressive communication. Okay? And then for third stage three, reading decodes, okay, symbols, mapping text back onto oral language. Okay? So that's for reading. So reading here introduces print awareness. No? The learner, you as learner, connects visual symbols. Okay? graphemes, letters, back to the spoken sounds, phonemes, and vocabulary already mastered in stage 1 and stage 2, transforming now written symbols into meaningful concepts. That's stage 3. And then we have stage 4, which is writing. Formal graphic encoding completes now the fundamental core. Okay? So writing represents the highest level of formal literary in this sequence. I repeat, the highest level of formal literacy in this sequence. So the learner moves beyond decoding others' texts to actively encoding their own thoughts using orthography, syntax, structural rules to produce formal written works. Okay, I hope you're learning, guys. Next, let's move on to the key language metric. Okay, here highlights a core psycholinguistic principle regarding language acquisition, receptive primacy, and the gap between receptive and expressive vocabulary sizes. It says there 80% receptive primacy. Okay? So, this statistic, guys, underlines that a vast majority of learners' total vocabulary knowledge operates at the receptive level, understanding when listening, reading, or viewing. So take note, 80% receptive primacy. And then for receptive vocabulary lead, okay, in both native and second language acquisition, guys, an individual's receptive vocabulary exceeds their active expressive vocabulary by substantial margin. Okay, what do we mean by that? For passive knowledge exceeds, whether acquiring a first language or learning a target language, individuals, guys, comprehend far more words than they actively produce in speech or writing. Okay? Take note of that. Comprehension here relies on recognition and contextual cues, which require lower cognitive effort, while expression requires active memory retrieval, precise syntax construction, and execution. Okay? So I hope you're learning. Okay, let's have another one. Okay, what else do we need to explain here? Okay, let's have, okay, pedagogical application. Okay, so pedagogical application, take note, pair receptive tasks, reading an article directly with expressive tasks, summarizing orally to strengthen retention. Okay? Provide rich, receptive models like videos, exemplar essays before asking students to create original output. For multimodal learning, expand traditional for skills to include viewing and representing to suit modern digital media environments. And balanced assessment measure both comprehension, deep, deep receptive, and production fluency, expressive for, I mean, wait, measure both comprehensive depth, depth, receptive, and production fluency, expressive for accurate diagnosis. Okay? So here, guys, okay, take note of the application, pedagogical application. Language here, guys, language instruction needs structured scaffolding. Okay? So what are those? Such as vocabulary drills, sentence frames, and low-stake output tasks to help bridge the gap and move words from passive recognition into active expression. Okay? What else do we need to learn here? In when asked to write or represent on those same topics, guys, without preparation, their active output is naturally more constrained for the production gap. Okay? Take note. Okay, what else? Okay. Learners can understand and infer far more language structures than they are capable of producing spontaneously during real-time speech or writing. Okay? So take note, guys, that here, okay, pedagogical application, it outlines four instructional practices designed to bridge the gap between input and output. Okay. So we have their integrated, scaffolded production, multimodal learning, and the last one would be balance assessment. Okay. So let me explain integrated skill interaction. Language skills here should not be taught in isolation. Linking a receptive task directly to an expressive one reinforces cognitive connections, moving vocabulary and structures from passive recognition into active usage. And then for the scaffolded production, guys, okay, let me explain it further. Here, capitalizing for our explanations is provide rich receptive models, example videos, exemplar essays before asking students to create original output. Okay, capitalizing, take note that capitalizing on the receptive vocabulary, lead educators provide clear exemplar models first. Okay, analyzing existing high-quality text or demonstrations gives students a template for grammar, syntax, and organization before they construct their own work. Okay? Next, multimodal learning. Okay? Traditional instruction guides focuses on listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Modern literacy frameworks expand these macro skills to include, what did we include? Visual media, teaching students to interpret already visual content, which is viewing, and design effective digital presentation, infographics, and media decks, which is representing. Okay? For balance assessment, we have there measure both comprehension, recall, receptive, and production fluency, which is expressive for accurate diagnosis. So, assessment should evaluate both sides of the language continuum. Uh, Teaching only comprehension, example, multiple choice, no? Reading text, no? Multiple choice reading text, I mean, multiple choice reading test, no? Misses a student productive capability, while evaluating only unassisted output may obscure strong receptive skills that need targeted scaffolding. Okay? So I hope you learned something uh, from this topic today, from the topic that I have discussed about macro skill. Okay? Unless you have question, would you like to raise question? Do you have questions or you have question in mind? Anybody? No more? No question? I'm waiting for you to raise question. Anybody from the group would like to voice out, and if you want to share, you may share something. If you have good ideas, you have ideas in mind, you could share it. Okay, so take note, guys. So let me wrap it up. Okay, language learning, guys, take note, is a journey really from understanding to expression. So we first build our foundation by listening and reading, but true mastery, guys, emerges when we speak, write, and visually represent our ideas. So by bridging the gap between what our students, you are as our students comprehend and what you can actively produce, we empower you to become confident, versatile communicators in an ever evolving digital world. So I hope you learned something for this afternoon or this day's lesson. Okay? Bye, everyone.